Everyone, Messicoda back again. We had a live dev interview with Atavism. We gave away $1,500 worth of Atavism licenses. That was on allthews.twitch.tv/themessycoda. You can sit back now and enjoy the first part of this live dev interview, and I'll see you in a second.
There, so
yeah, and of course that's a pleasure to be here with you again. So thanks for the invitation.
Well, thanks for taking up the invitation. Thanks for coming back. And completely unsolicited, you guys normally I'm like, hey, can you give me some like keys and stuff? But I remember like you gave away a load of money's worth of assets last time, so I didn't ask at all. And you guys just dropped it. You're like, by the way, here's some keys during the cyber sale. I mean, this is the time where you don't give away free stuff because your stuff is on 50% off at the moment on the Unity Asset Store.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, to be honest, we like to share some goodies with our community. So, by the way, the best community in the world.
Oh yeah, none of that Unreal development. Everyone is in chat spamming in the raffles. Raffle hasn't started yet. You gotta see the goods before you get in. Now we have pasted a link to a build of Atavism in my Discord, and I don't know if there's one in the official Atavism Discord. I did have Twisty. Was it Twisty? Was saying that the build wasn't working for him. Twist sent a screenshot. Atavism boys, are you in my Discord? Because there's might be a compatibility problem with Twisty's PC. Hang on a second. Let me send that to you on Discord. Twisty, your PC's possessed? I think Twisty's PC's possessed.
Oh no! This is actually the known issue of Unity post-processing stack version 2.
Ah, there you go.
It's related to some shaders and anti-aliasing. So you can try to enter the game and press escape, and then just disable the anti-aliasing, and it should work.
Oh, there you go. There you go, Twisty. We got this. We got the tech support live on air. Awesome.
Yeah, basically we have to update this post-processing stack for sure, but in the present Atavism version, it's a bit outdated. So lately, like not sure, 3 days ago, Unity just released the post-processing stack version 2.1, as I remember correctly, and it's out of preview now. So you can just delete the post-processing stack if you have Atavism package. For Atavism owners, they should just remove the Atavism as post-processing stack from the project and replace it with the one from the package manager.
Cool. Everyone hear that? Everyone okay? Everyone ready? It's about a 1 point something gig if you would then download it. We just had a sub in from Freshmeat. Well, what a ride so far. Can't wait for the next 10 months in a row. Keep up the great work, and I love spending the amount of time I have and will continue to do so much. Stand up guy. Love you, man. You're the best. No, Freshmeat, you're the best. Everyone give a massive thank you in chat for Freshmeat, who became a modder, who became actually our second mod. Our first mod was Andy, who hopefully will come back one day, but he's always very busy. So who stood up? Freshmeat is not only a mod on the channel, he's also a mod on the Discord, and he's the one out of the two of me and Freshmeat. He's the one who actually knows what he's doing. If it wasn't for Freshmeat, we wouldn't have any links in chat, and there'll be nobody notified that we've actually gone live. So a massive thank you to Freshmeat. 10 months of ongoing support, and he's also Canadian, which is, if anyone knows Canadians, what they're like, you know, everyone, they pretend to be really nice, but Freshmeat really is nice. He's a nice guy. So massive thank you, and thumbs up and hearts in chat for Freshmeat. So what should we do first? Should we load up Unity, or should we load up the demo build? What do you want to do, Atavism boys? What do you want to do?
I think we can start from the editor, and then we can just play around with the test build and see it in action, because it's basically what we will just show in the editor. You will basically get within the build, so you will be able to see how it was configured and how easy it is to configure these new things.
Awesome. We just got a question in chat. I wanted to know, is there video guides for Atavism? There are video guides for Atavism, and if you follow Atavism on Twitter, which is at Atavism Online, they're also tweeting out links to their guides, which are on YouTube. You can pop over to their YouTube, and on their YouTube, they've got their own guides. I will be making my own Atavism videos, because I actually am getting more and more excited. Every time I play with Atavism, I get more excited, especially now, because they've got the auction house, which we're going to play about with in this live dev stream, and they've updated their crafting. So what other wonderful things have they done? We're going to find out now.
Yes, so we did what people ask for, and hope so they will appreciate that. And well, like you can see, and everybody can see, it's there for everybody. Hope so, just use your imagination and make it happen.
Yeah, so basically, I think one of the most important thing which people expected for a long time is the upgrade of the standard license CCU number. So we increased this number from 20 to 100. So basically, you can now, within the standard, the lowest license, you can basically host 100 players simultaneously connected to your server. So this is the major change, and it's basically because of the community feedback. So we are respecting your work, your feedback, and
We listen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, moving from 20 to 100 is massive in itself. That's like, because there was always the argument that Atavism was nice, but 20 users doesn't really make an MMO.
Well, the 20 users was basically it was just starter pack in form of you want to start developing. You're not always have the 100 workers or 100 people working in your team on the project. Usually they're like the indie teams. They're like 2, 5, 10 people. Initially they could start with this 20 CCU license, but with time they say, look, we would like to also do some small testing with the more than 20 people. And there was this dilemma what to do. They could buy the higher license, but they want to test it also more deeply. So we'll decide that we'll just increase the CCU count, and hope so that will help them to continue journey with Atavism.
Yeah, so basically we received a lot of feedback that developers would like to test and try the Atavism within a bit of larger sample of players. So because of that, they requested that about 80 would be fine for them. For games like related games, and we decided to increase it to 100 to basically make everyone happy.
Well, I'm very happy, I have to say. To be honest, I always said that the last time you were on. I didn't like the 20, and the 100 actually makes me very giddy, because with a 20, okay, you get on Kickstarter, struggles a bit, but 100, you don't even have 100 people on something like on a DayZ, unless they do now, but you never used to. So I think 100 people can really help indies get their their projects out there. People like what do you call it? Like, donating, sponsoring, supporting, and then they got a bit of money coming in. They can afford to upgrade to your next tiers. So your next tier is an extra $500, and you move up to, is it 500 CCUs? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
And actually, you can be able to get it during this session.
Yeah,
Oops, I said it.
that confused me, because if you guys have already got Atavism, right, and you had the 20 CCUs and you went up, and now you've upgraded to 100, I thought we were just giving away the copies of Atavism that are on the asset store. But if you already have a copy of Atavism, because we were chatting about this on our Discord today, and they said, if you already have a copy of Atavism and you win a copy tonight, then you can have two separate instances of your world servers set up. You got two accounts, so you can have even two different games if you wanted, two different multiplayer games. But not only could you have that, if you had an Atavism set up and you've got 100 CCUs, if you won a copy tonight, you would upgrade your 100 to 500 instead of getting two copies of Atavism. I mean, that is above and beyond. Thank you very much, Atavism boys. Because not only are new people able to take advantage and enjoy it themselves, but your existing loyal customers can get a free upgrade to 500 CCUs.
Yeah, so what's happening there is, like you said, somebody could decide that he'd like to have a second license for like QA environment when they will test, and also keep the existing live system running without need to switch the license between the servers. So now they can decide that, yes, we'd like to have additional license, or look, my project is there, it's live, but I'd like to connect more people, so I'll upgrade my license to 500 CCUs.
We've just got I'm going to even butcher people's names. Doc Zeus in chat saying, I've been hosting my Atavism server on Google Cloud and it's super peppy. Google gives you basically a year free of hosting. Do they? A year free hosting? And then it's pretty cheap afterwards to keep it running there. May help some of you who need to host their servers publicly. Damn, I need some of that. I did not know that at all. I hate Google. Google are evil, but now they sound really lovely. Google, well done. You're not so evil after all. Hey Messi, so what do I do with this file I downloaded? Everyone know, because I have the file downloaded. Games, if you've downloaded that build that we had on the Discord, extract it to a folder on your computer, extract it to a folder, and then double click on the icon that's inside that says exe, and then you'll be able to click on that beautiful register button and open yourself an account on this test demo. Now the exe you want to be clicking is the Messi Coder v2, not Unity Crash Handler, just in case there was any confusion out there. Sounds like your tutorial should include setting up on a Google Cloud. I'm really looking forward to this now. So I was just chatting to the stream Atavism boys before you joined in that I'm going to be making a little game on YouTube with my 5-year-old son to see how quickly it will take father and son duo. I might even throw in my 3-year-old as well to see if we'll be able to make a game with Atavism. I'll let the kids control the UI, so they'll be clicking and like telling me what to do, and I'll be doing any of the coding stuff afterwards. But I want to see, can a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old with their dad make a game with Atavism?
Well, we think it is possible, so we're looking forward to see the results. And if there is need, we will try to help.
As long as nobody calls social services.
We don't talking about babysitting.
Well, you're gonna need the practice, mate. So you got the wedding bill, so some little pat with tiny feet around the corner.
Well, the first thing is the house, and then we'll think about some future.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm just bringing back memories now of. Oh man, the memories of married life, just being newlyweds, living out of cardboard. But we were living out of cardboard boxes as our tables and furniture for years. My wife kept like saying we can afford now to get a table. I'm like no, 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 no. We've got a cardboard box. We've got a sheet over it. It's good enough. That's perfectly fine. There's no need for anything else.
Yep. Uh, that is more or less the same situation here.
Just don't let anyone convince you to buy furniture. Live with cardboard boxes. If I could,
Uh,
I'd still be there.
well, it's not that bad because for the years that we're living together, we actually bought some furniture for the house. Except this that we still renting this one. So now in Ireland, it is just cheaper to go to bank and take loan than just and just pay your mortgage than just rent a house. It is literally the monthly repayment of your mortgage. It's cheaper than renting the house.
Wow.
That is insane. I must
Wow.
say.
That is
Ju-
nuts.
Just to tell you, like the house that we living in, it's around 1,600 euros. So that could be like 1,800 or 1,900 US dollars a month. But it is not bad. We're living in this house like 11 years. My neighbor rent his house for 2,500 euro, and it is exactly the same size. That is insane, and that's the reason why we prioritizing now the house instead of I don't know like honeymoon or spending money on a car.
Well, okay. We need to get ourselves buying your stuff to be able to fund you to get your house sorted out. Then, don't we?
Well, that will help.
All right then. Am I on a stream about Brexit and prices, or am I here to listen to Atavism?
I don't mention the B word.
We didn't know.
Oh, we
Yeah.
didn't mention that Michael is an real estate agent. Oh, so give me the card back, Michael.
We're just building the small word in Atavism. So,
I found a weird issue with Atavism UI. If I dock the Atavism window like I've done now, I can't see a scroll to go down here. So there isn't this. I know this is you've inherited this little floaty window from the previous version. So let me put on the monitor. Can you guys? Here we go. Now everyone at home can see it, but they can see everything that I've got on my C drive. On my C drive? On my monitor. No, you can't see everything on my C drive. You can see everything I've got on my monitor. That'd be really disturbing. If you could see everything, you wouldn't want to see what I've got on C drive. Oh, there's DLLs and everything all over the place. Oh, it's messy.
that's the thing. If it's messy, that's your.
Exactly.
We trying to keep the code clear.
Let me make this a little bit bigger. That's what he said. So here we go. I've got the Atavism online from the menu that was at the top, and I tell you what, Atavism boys, I will share my screen with you so that you don't have to look at the stream. Here we go. Tell me when you can see my screen. Well, I'm here about Brexit. Skullcorrex wants to know about Brexit. I'm actually all right. I've got a European I'm not going to say like which one, but I went and got myself and my kids a European and a British citizenship, just in case any shenanigans happened. Unfortunately, when I told my wife to do the same and do all the paperwork, she didn't do it. And now, if we need to run away from the UK, I can run off with the kids, and the wife can stay with the mother-in-law and father-in-law. So there you go. I'm alright, Jack. Don't worry about the rest of you. Step 1. After starting the MySQL server is to click the database button in the pane and fill out the credentials. Yep. Now, I've already done because if you guys and gals have watched the last video when the Atavism boys came on stream. We did pretty much cover the how to get started from scratch, how to enter in all your details, how to do the Atavism shenanigans and all that stuff. We even made some items and we did some skills as well. So there's no point doing all of that again, because if you want to watch all that, just pop yourselves over to YouTube, !YouTube in chat, and you can watch the last interview that's available there. It's actually, we chopped it up into 4 parts. I also like to say that we will do, we've got 3 giveaways to do. So we'll do the first giveaway in about 20 minutes time. We'll space them out. What do you Atavism boys reckon? Should we do the first giveaway in 20 minutes time and we'll space them out rather than do them all at the end? And that way
it can be a bit earlier.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, why not?
Make it a little bit exciting. So I'm inside the editor now. Now, what's new to me is the auction house and the changes you've done to the crafting. Now, what else are we going to see in this latest build, which is 2018.3.1, that I didn't see in the last time you were here?
Yeah, basically it's the newest patch, which will be released officially within the few incoming days.
Will take next 2 to 3 weeks, but it could happen that it will be faster.
Yeah, basically the patch will be probably Monday or Tuesday at least. Yeah, Monday or Tuesday. Maybe even earlier, maybe Sunday. So basically it will introduce just few fixes. But all these features are included in 2000.3.0, so the configuration will be the same. So basically in this version we implemented a lot of new features, which we were very excited to do. And first, the biggest one was the auction house, but auction house is basically configured within the canvas, within the UI, so it's not present in the Atavism editor actually. From the other perspective, for the present Atavism owners, some of you may know that Atavism stored items in the blob before, so which actually stored the item statistics permanently. So if the player grabbed the item, and then after that you just change the item parameters, these parameters for this player item wouldn't change. And with this version, we changed that. So this backdating for items, I should say, is already in place, and this was the foundation for the rest of the functionalities and of the features. So which among them we have socketing. So socketing we can configure by just opening items as you are there, and yeah, if we will switch to edit tab, it will take some time because the server is in Poland, you are in UK, so there is a bit of lag. And if we will just basically write the crystal in the search box in the top section, we will see that we have 2 crystals options, and we have Crystal of Vitality, which we basically created right before this session, and Crystal of Strength. And basically, if we scroll down, you will see that we have statistics on it. We have, and the most important, we have sockets effect, which is responsible for, which defines how this item will act if you will put this item to the item with sockets. So socket type is set to runes, so we can switch it. We can of course add more types. These types are in the dictionary, which you can define We can also show it if you want. The dictionary is, yeah, you can set many other types. But dictionary is in the server. If you will switch to server section in the left menu, and then option choices, and then let's switch to edit tab. Yes, and let's expand the drop-down list, and let's select sockets type. Yeah, second from above. Yeah. So we got gems and runes here, and we can add more than this type, like crystal, or yeah, why not? Yeah, and we will be able to define how many of these socket types particular item can have. So we can define that, for example, sword can have 2 gems sockets and 2 runes, or 1 rune socket.
So could we use this? I recently played about with the customizable weapon FPS weapons pack, where you get a gun and you can add different scopes and different magazines and clips like that. We could use the sockets on actual modern weaponry as extensions to be able to plug other things into it as well.
Basically, these sockets will change the actual item parameters. So the actual rock or gem or crystal, which will be put inside the item, will increase the item parameters by this crystal attributes, this crystal statistics. So if you will switch back to items and again items section.
So basically I can have a socket type for like scopes, and if I add a infrared scope, then the effect of that, rather than a gem, is that the accuracy of my weapon is increased by 5.
Yeah, exactly. That will work. And not only that, not sure.
Ooh, look at this.
Yeah, it's just.
It's remember the last type.
Remember
thing
the last.
Oh, there you go. Another bit of QA there.
Yeah.
I'm good at that.
Editor basically is on our list to be rewritten. So yeah.
Nice. We got a couple of questions. Let me chuck them in before we lose them in the chat. One question that always does come up in Discord or wherever we're chatting on Skype is the if we can actually customize Atavism. Now, Angry Stuvie is saying, yeah, you need to know Python/Aegis, and then we've got talking about how Aegis is Java. So give a little background of, or a clarification on exactly what Aegis is and what's required to do customization on Atavism.
So basically, Aegis is the source code of the server, which is written in Java. There is a small portion of Python there as well, but it's a really small portion. And if you will basically, if you can see the Atavism editor, it was designed to take off the difficulty to configure it and move this coding part directly into Atavism editor, Atavism Online, to just basically change the values of the fields, of the drop-down lists, icons, define many parameters like global parameters. If you will switch to server and game settings, we can show you how many global parameters you can configure. So the list is pretty long. Each of these parameters is described on our documentation page. If you will write, for example, socketing, or it can narrow down the list. Like we have socketing, right? So we can configure socketing, and we have chance for socketing time of socketing, base price, price per grade. We can clear sockets. We can define what to do if the socketing will fail, to basically destroy all sockets or to destroy only the one which you will want to socket, which you want to put into the item. So this is pretty configurable, and we are trying to take the hard part from you and put as many elements as we can into the Atavism editor, so you wouldn't have to code at all. So this is the major goal of Atavism. Of course, you can extend plugins, extend modules, change algorithms, change combat, change behavior of mobs, of pets, etc. So you can change it, but we want to give you a tool so you wouldn't have to. So this is the, yeah.
We've got another question that was coming in about how scalable Atavism is, and we kind of in chat they've worked out that this is about like how many players, how many servers. Now you mentioned before the stream you were chatting to me about all the multiple servers that you could have in your world server. Smith was touched on that. There's a different stage for each concurrent user, plus the servers themselves are divisible into 16 diverse units in order to help you balance your resources. If you can give it just a little bit of an explanation about how what your license gives you, like one world server but multiple servers within that.
Yes, of course. So basically, each license gives the ability to start to run one world server. So only the world server is licensed, not the authentication one. And each world server can be split up to 15 servers. So this split is based on the functionality. So these functionality servers are basically combat, mob server, auction house server, like we added auction house lately. So this is also separate servers. So you can start these servers on the separate machines. You can we have Atavism has 4 databases, and these 4 databases can be hosted on separate machines as well. So on our documentation page, you will also find this information about how to set up these servers. It's pretty simple to configure. Yeah, and because of the independent server technology, independent from Unity, it's pretty scalable. So it's as I mentioned, it's written in Java, and all is multi-threaded basically. So no matter how many processors or cores you will have, Atavism can basically use them all. So with this possible to split the servers, you can really expand your environment and your game.
Now we've got a nice question that actually is one that I was kind of poking you about before today as well. Doxus is asking, can we get on a roadmap some APIs so we can integrate with other asset store packages such as, beautiful one here, Quest Machine, Love and Hate. Now I love the fact that you got two from our good old friend. You got Rucksack in there, etc, etc. It would be nice to be able to use other great assets and offer deeper functionality than Atavism currently has. And then further down it also says you've seen the roadmap, but about the map, the mini map. Now you mentioned before to me that your motto is don't reinvent the wheel. So as such, the number of integrations that you can offer in Atavism is something that must be really important to you all.
Yes, basically for the API and possible implementation, Basically, we are providing Aegis API. So if you will let me, I will drop the link in the Twitch as well. So I dropped the link in the Twitch, and
You can get told off by the robot for dropping links in Twitch.
oh,
That's all right. I'll help you out on that one.
yeah, thanks. Okay, so
By the way,
With-
if anyone wants the robot to not block your links anymore, all you need to do is click on that juicy subscribe button on Twitch and throw a bit of coin my way to help pay for me to get to Twitch Europe and possibly even have my kids get Christmas presents this year. So if you want my children to get Christmas presents from Santa this year, because Santa takes a bribe, all you need to do is click on that lovely subscribe button on Twitch. And if you do subscribe on Twitch, you actually get, if you link your Discord and your Twitch together, to mean he's not real, of course he's real, you can get access to my secret section on Twitch where you can download my code for my own tutorials. Obviously, you don't download other people's assets, but any code that I've written, like my Ultimate Survival code, you can download it for free on Discord if you've been a sub on Twitch. Now, Santa is real. He's just a bit corrupt these days, and he only comes around to your house if your parents have bribed him beforehand, because, you know, Santa's become a little bit jaded. Now, we don't need Santa. We've got the boys from Atavism here with us, and in 5 minutes we'll give away one copy of Atavism for you to play with. Now, if you already do have a copy of Atavism yourself and you're on the standard with 100 CCUs, if you do win, you can move yourself up to that next tier of 500. That's right. Now, your 100 game just suddenly became a lot bigger just because you decided to pop into this wonderful Twitch stream or the w.twitch.tv/wscoder. That's right, the place you are right now. Click on that follow button because you have to be a follower if you want to be in the raffle. And I would appreciate if somebody gives an exclamation mark YouTube and then you click on that sub on YouTube, because it's free to sub on YouTube and we need to hit that 4K mark. But actually, subs on YouTube are pretty much dried up these days. But we want to at least get to 5K eventually. But if we want to get to 5, we've got to get to 4. That's called maths, children. That's called maths. Thank you very much for dropping those links in. Now, the other question we had in was actually more of a statement from Games. Unfortunately, Games is in Australia, and the test server that we're playing about with the lads from Atavism is in Poland. So it would be laggy for Games because he's in Australia. It does lead the question about, if you are making an MMO, how do you handle the issue of people from all around the world trying to log in to play your game?
Basically it's pretty simple, as most studios do. They are basically running one server per mostly continent, so one in the US somewhere, one in the Europe, and one in the Asia, and that should be sufficient to basically cover broadwide of the players. So most of the studios have few servers which you can join, and Atavism is handling this as well. So you can even have one authentication server, and then the user, based on the location which he will choose, he will be redirected to the proper server in proper location.
How are you handling the replication for your DR? So I've got Atavism running on my Google Cloud, and I want to have a DR environment. So I've got disaster recovery if, you know, Google goes down, or I decide to, you know, I didn't pay my credit card bill or whatever, and Google cut me off. How does Atavism handle multiple like failover servers and things like that?
Honestly, there is no such functionality because
you don't need it.
Yeah, basically you just have to remember to pay your bills. If you have players, you have to take care of them. you have to show them some love and take care of your cloud, of your environment, and pay attention to it.
But if you got hacked, if you got attacked, and pay your bills, kids. That's right. If your server got attacked and you went down, how is there any like replication that you have, or like a watchdog or something that you've got running that will handle multiple servers, or is that still just the one instance that you've got along your 15 or whatever nodes or servers?
Basically, the heart of the atavism and the state is database. So it contains all states of the player progress, of the definitions. So if you will basically just take care of the database backups, you will be fine. So if someone will just break or hack your server, you will be able to just recover it from the database backup, and you will just put the Atavism configuration files, and it will work. So moving Atavism to some different environment or recovering it from the backup is pretty simple.
Cool. Games has just popped in with something that I mentioned when you and I were playing about. I wish I could move my camera with my mouse. You can move your camera. There you go. Hold right click games and move your camera. Also, if you are making your own game with Atavism from scratch or whatever, which scene have we got here that we play about with the camera on? Was it any of them?
Yes, but it wasn't in the login scene, sorry, but in the world scene.
Yeah, the main world.
Yeah.
So, but you would need to change your UI to handle that kind of camera. So, by definition, your MMO type feeling that you've got, if you are moving your camera around and by moving your mouse, and then you went to use that bottom toolbar, every time you move your mouse down to use that toolbar, your guy's looking down at his feet. So you need to kind of like, do that escape to get out of the mouse lock view. So if you go over to your main camera, and whereabouts are you? Mouse lock looked. Is that the right one? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah. So you tick that, and then as you move your mouse, your camera would move. And then you'd need to do something like if you pushed escape, then you would access your toolbar. I've got a cup of tea. Thank you, baby. It is hot. Thank you, baby. I got a cup of tea to make me feel better. See what happens. See what happens when you're nice. You get a cup of tea. So yeah, there you go. Now we've got 04FX says left drags. SM0 says the SQL portion can be replicated and give high availability. The rest can be backed up by snapshot. Thank you, SM0.
Yes, of course, you can make a database cluster using MariaDB or MySQL. That's not a problem. But also a cold backup is a really good best practice, I should say, because if someone will break to your server, he can change the data directly, and the data can be replicated to your other environments. So cold backup is also really handy.
Yeah, definitely. We could go into hours talking about different best practices for server maintenance and administration. We do have a demo server. Yes, we do actually have a demo set up. If should I push the link into the chat itself? Somebody give an ! Discord in chat, and we'll have. If you are in Europe, you are going to get a better performance, obviously, because the servers are here. Now, as it was mentioned earlier, if you set yourself up on Google Cloud, Doxus says you span the servers worldwide using Google Cloud, and you get Google Cloud for a year free, apparently. So, fair play. Google has proved me wrong in my assumption that Google are evil. Turns out that Google aren't that evil after all. Google sometimes are nice. Now, I'll make a new command. So let me just quickly go to commands. I'll make one, and it will be called Atavism demo. Get this downloaded to come and play. Oh, my fingers are so slow. And I'll put a cooldown on that. Stick that in the instructions. There you go. So if somebody gives me an exclamation mark Atavism demo in chat, then you can get yourself a link to download this wonderful test, and we can play together. Don't forget to click register, and there you go. If you prefer AWS, and Azure has a similar deal, Microsoft only gives you $200 in computer time instead of $300. Ah, okay. It's the battle. It's the battle of clouds. It's the battle of clouds. How do we get to the auction house from here? I want to play with the auction house. I want to play with it.
To play it, we should basically start the game, or you can load the login scene.
But can I edit the UI for the? How do I edit the UI for the auction house?
Okay, so UI can be edited if you will switch to the canvas, move to the canvas actually, expand, no, in the hierarchy.
1 second.
Second from the bottom.
Here we go.
Yeah. Then let's expand canvas windows.
Yes, there it is,
yep.
The cheeky badger.
And let's find the auction house.
Wow, there's a lot of windows we've got here. Okay, auction house. There it is. There it is. Yeah.
And in the right section, in the inspector.
Can I just hang on 1 second? Well, I know this is naughty, but I'm just.
No, but it won't be necessary to disable.
No, I just want to see what I'm doing because I'm old.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in the right section, if you will, yeah.
Here we go.
So let's select auction house here in the hierarchy, yeah, and let's expand auctions list.
You can hide. There we go. Oh wow, that's a lot of fields in there.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that many fields straight. I was going to go like pop in straight away in 3 seconds, click and be gone. There's actually a bit of effort that's gone into this.
Yeah. Okay. So here you can see menu filter. Third from the bottom.
Here we go.
Yeah, and here we can define basically the tree of the the left section of the auction house, when we can see armors, weapons. So you can set how nested the socket, the items can be. So we can have armors. Under the armors, we can have leather armors. After the leather armors, under the leather armors, we can have chests. We can have helmets, boots, etc. So this is configurable and this is adjustable from here. Yeah, as you can see, we have armor.
What's this T type? What's that?
If you will see in the top section, we have type drop-down list. So this is type.
Okay.
Yeah, if you will click on it, you can see that we have type, subtype, and slot. So type has value 0. Yeah.
Where did my okay? I've just accidentally closed something. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
So type is basically 0, subtype is 1, and socket is 2.
Okay.
So if you will, basically N is name and V is value. So this value will be compared by type in the Atavism database, and the name will be presented in the tree. So if you will just leave the sexy pants here, just set the proper value. So this value we can find in the Atavism editor. So let's open Atavism editor. Yeah, and we can navigate to items, items. Yeah, let's click on items again. Okay, yeah, again. Not sure it's opening.
Let me close that and...
Yeah, undock is a bit better, to be honest. Yeah, and items again.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There we go, now it's doing stuff. Now it's doing its magic.
And we can click armor here. We want to define new armor, but we will see how the auction will work.
So I'll now call this one Sexy Pants.
No. Basically,
It's a
you can
Sexy
see
Pants by
that
socket.
Sexy Pants, it will be, we can define, it will be, for example, what do you want? Leather, for example, leather chest. That's your...
Oh yeah.
So we got T like 0, so it will be, it will take, a type, so it will take the type armor. So we doesn't have, or a weapon, so we doesn't have Sexy Pants type. So let's switch it to 1, for example. So it will take the subtype, and we can expand the subtype, and we got cloth, and you will have to basically put the value, we can say cloth, we can say leather. Yeah, and just write the leather in the value in the right section of inspector. Yeah, here.
In here?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, and basically what this will do, it will present Sexy Pants name, and if we click on it, it will basically filter the auctions based on subtype with leather value.
Ah, I get you.
So if you will want to filter it and nest it even more, we can define sockets, we can define general types. Right now we have armors, weapons, materials, consumables, junks, and yeah, probably a few more. Bags.
So this is where you're saying that there's so much that you can do that you don't necessarily need to touch any code if you just keep on tweaking the settings and finding the different options that you've got to play with, basically.
Yeah, exactly. It was designed with such way to not have to touch any code at all.
Wow,
Yeah.
This is pretty damn funky. I like this auction house shenanigans. I do. I also like how if I pop back over this, I am gonna dock this. I am gonna dock it because it's getting in my way. I also like that you're using, it's none of this weird UI stuff. You're using standard Unity UI. You're also playing about with, let me saying in chat, playing with Evil to use his EUIs. So, we want to give a little bit of a background into what you're doing with Evil UIs before we're just going to do a raffle now.
Yeah, of course. So basically, we decided to forge another cooperation with Evil, I should say, top asset store publishers in terms of UI. Probably most of you know this publisher, and yeah, his packages are great, and we basically ordered exclusively for Atavism another UI from him. So this is the UI which you can see in the newest Atavism version, and this UI is also presented in the test build. So based on that, within the incoming Atavism version, we want to, it's not yet confirmed, but because we are still analyzing it, how to proceed it, but we want to make a tool which will allow you to change or switch UI between different Evils UIs, different Evils packages, and even more within the next Atavism release, we will also add an additional MMORPG UI 6 package from the Evil into the Atavism. So you will be able to see the Atavism Team Manager tool in action, and within that you will be able to switch between UIs, between these two UIs, and if you will have more of these packages of the Evil's work, you're able to switch to other packages as well. So we have hope to present that tool in the next big release.
Nice. That's tasty. Okay, that's it for this part of my live dev interview. I hope you enjoyed it, had some fun. The next one is just around the corner. Don't forget, if you do like these videos and you want to see more, click on that big juicy red subscribe button that's down below. Tell all of your friends, your neighbors about the Messy Coder, who streams live every Fridays and Saturdays on all the w's.twitch.tv/themessycoder. You can catch me 9 PM UK time. So if you do like it, click it. Till next time. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now, and down below there's that big juicy subscribe button, and right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.